Okay, so, kept saying you were a free agent, basically saying you're a scrub, you have no team. You were by the way, I wish I could have been good enough to be a free agent at anything, which applies to 99.9% of society. Again, the marginalization of the process, but that's a subtext we'll get to. Listen, can you make the case that Cam didn't need to engage the kid? I'm rich. Yeah, I guess you can make that case. But I've gotten on Cam in the past. I don't think he's particularly good right now as a player. But, and again, yeah, you can make the case, don't engage the young man. But to me, this is a deeper societal issue that continues to permeate our world, where unchecked disrespect makes the world a worse place. Take it and I'll go from there.
Yeah, I mean, I tell you, the frustrating thing is that, this kid has dreams or aspirations of being a college football player and then ultimately making it to the NFL. And he doesn't understand the process of how to get there. And I think we saw this on social media because this went viral really, really quickly. And almost to a man, all of the NFL players that responded to this and non-NFL stars basically said, what in the heck is wrong with this kid? I mean, some were, espousing violence, which I would never do as a 16-year-old.
That's wrong.
But they were like, handle it like a man. I mean, at the end of the day, Cam Newton has accomplished more than most football players ever will. Think about that. Think about what I said. And he's not even won a Super Bowl.
Yep.
But what Cam Newton has done as a college kid, first of all, junior college.
That's true.
Where he won a national championship.
Yep.
College at Auburn, where he won a national championship and the Heisman Trophy, was first overall. I mean, it just goes on and on.
League MVP.
League MVP. He went to a Super Bowl. He's made $122 million.
National commercials.
I mean, and he's got a swag and a style about himself. He's created a brand that is unique. And I mean, even if you don't go on to become a superstar athlete when you grow up, if you can create a brand for yourself and be known for something outside of the sport that you play, that's an accomplishment. No matter what you want to say about Cam Newton as a football player, and yes, is he on the backside of his career? Most likely.
Yes.
I mean, it is what it is.
And we'll hit that football stuff next segment.
And
he got
the crap beat out of him for 8 years, and his body just broke down. It is what he is.
Yeah.
But this kid, to be disrespectful, I don't know what he's drawing on. Maybe the statistics of former athletes.
Oh, yes, I'm sure he did a real deep dive extrapolation on the monetary.
But he's talking about you're about to be broke.
Now, here's what he's doing. Here's what he's doing.
Starting quarterbacks in the NFL don't go broke. Sorry.
Exactly.
Not anymore.
That's true. That's true. Not anymore. Here's what he's doing. He knows there's phones. He knows there's cameras. He knows there's the immediate, not potential, the immediate result of going viral. He knows that by saying something off color and off key and flat out straight up disrespectful and rude will give him a bump in the status of life. That's what he's thinking.
But that's not cool at all.
Well, that's absolutely asinine, and it's a sad reflection on society. Listen, and by the way, I'm going to move away from the young man now because he did apologize. It seemed pretty heartfelt.
Yes.
I'm going to take him at his word. If we were all measured by our worst moment, none of us would have jobs, or very few of us would have jobs, okay? So we're not going to sit in the ivory tower and just shoot down on people verbally and lambaste them and try to ruin their lives. We don't cancel people for a temporary lapse in judgment. I am going to very quickly now move on from the young man and now point the finger where it really goes, and that's society. I mean, because, listen, well, first of all, let me just take a step back. First of all, what should have happened is that his uniform should have been taken and he should have been booted out of camp immediately. Immediately booted from camp, immediately. Give me your shirt, take your spikes, get on the bus, you're gone. You're not playing anymore, you're gone. Because unless, and I know he apologized, I'm sure his parents are going to come down on the young man. I know what he said within his apology. He referenced his parents, and I have no reason to think that they haven't tried and have succeeded on almost every level, doing a great job raising a young man in a tough world in 2021. I'm not judging parents because it ain't easy. But I will judge us collectively. And without any discernible punishment. So he was allowed to stay in camp. He absolutely got a big-time bump on whatever social media platforms he's on because he's now viral. Without discernible punishment, this is in a roundabout way. This activity, this state of mind is rewarded. It is rewarded by society. You can jump in and you can attack somebody, whether it's true, partially true, completely fabricated, doesn't matter. You can write whatever you want. There's never any kickback. There's never anything punitive that happens to you. And until that begins to until accountability becomes vogue again, until that becomes mainstream again, this young man won't be the first, and he's certainly not going to be the last.
Yeah,
it's our fault.
But hasn't social media kind of allowed this type of mentality to exist and permeate society?
It's encouraged it. Forget about allowing it. It's encouraged it.
You respond negatively or in a trollish behavior, and this happens everywhere, BT. All over the internet, you see this stuff all the time. Even if it's something as benign as Cam Newton being in a camp.
I know what you mean.
You know what I mean?
All the time.
People just want to troll. And when you troll and you get 50 likes on it or whatever the context may be, it could be 1,000 likes on it.
There's probably more like a couple of million, but I got you.
Yeah, I'm just talking about any situation. All of a sudden, you feel empowered. Like, yeah, that felt good to be validated in what I was saying. And that's and even if you're not doing it consciously, and I don't think that this kid was consciously thinking, I'm going to take on Cam Newton because I have a message to tell him. Because clearly he wasn't saying anything plausible. Like there was no. What was he saying? Yes, Cam Newton's
been a punk. He's been a wise guy, and we were all wise guys.
Cam Newton's a free agent. Okay, great. If his career ended tomorrow, he'd still have had a great career and made a ton of money doing it. So I understand like that. There's a I don't know. There's like I can empower myself and be bigger than you by demeaning you and cutting you down, right? That's really what this comes down to, and it's why social media has become very dangerous in some cases because you can undercut someone so often and so many times, digital bullying, whatever you want to call it, because it makes you feel better, makes you feel more powerful than the person that you're talking about. But this was happening in real time, which is why it's rare. And interesting that he didn't back down. Usually when you get called out, like Cam Newton called out this kid, it stops. He just kept going.
Yeah, he did.
Right?
He kept going. He called the ass.
I mean,
he said, "You ass, you ass," over and over. You a free agent, you ass. I mean, the guy won the MVP. More importantly, even if he was the third-string quarterback, he took time out of his schedule to come and connect with young kids.
Yeah,
you're one of them. I remember now. I went to a ton of sports camps when I was a kid. One of which Bernard King was his camp.
Nice.
Oh God, Bernard! I mean, I was talking about being in heaven. It was right after when Bernard King ripped up his knee, so I guess it would have been. Well, it was about a year and a half. It was the summer of '85. So I think I was 11. And it was Bernard King's camp, right? But there were other guys who rolled through, and I've been to other camps, baseball, basketball. You didn't have to be one of the superstars to get my attention. You walked into that gym, and I went to basketball camp more than anything. You walked into that gym to show us a drill. Coach Hurley, Bobby Hurley, Dandy Hurley's dad, right? Great St. Anthony's legend. I used to go to this camp, the Connecticut School of Basketball. Nick McCarchek, the former Fordham head coach back in the day, ran it. I went every year for about 4 years, and Coach Hurley came. And I didn't really know about the St. Anthony's aura. I was 6th, 7th grade. And I certainly wasn't going there to play. He didn't want me. He wanted the slow white guy who's like 5'6" at that point for damn sure. So I had no chance to play for him. So I barely knew who he was, is my point. I was lasered in on him with the most profound respect. I didn't need Pat Riley to walk into the door, into the gym for me to have respect. I was just fixated on the message because that's what I was taught by my parents. When somebody comes to, maybe he got paid, maybe he didn't. That's not the point. When
I think he was coaching his team. Oh,
he came as an instructor.
Yeah, then I'm talking about Cam. Cam was coaching his team.
Yeah, Cam was coaching. I got you. But still, he's coaching a team. He could be sitting in his mansion counting his million. Then he have to be coaching a 7-on-7 team. That's the whole point.
Good point.
I mean, Cam could be playing golf wherever he wants. He could be, I don't know if he's married, if he's not. He could be on a trip with 5 women or 5, whatever he wants. He can do anything that he wants. He does not have to be there with 95+% of the kids who won't even sniff the NFL no matter what they think. And I know a lot of those kids are good, but just do the math. You lived it. You know I'm right. Mm-hmm. I don't understand how – well, I do. Let me take that back. I obviously do because we identified it immediately. when you have a license to say whatever you want in this world without getting checked. And sometimes you get checked by getting popped in the face. Sometimes you get checked by your parent who might give you a backhand. Sometimes you get checked by losing your job. If you don't get checked at an early age, you will think you could say and do whatever you want. And you know what happens? Now you have this thing that we live in now called 2021, not pandemic stuff. I'm talking about the way we treat each other. Mm-hmm. That's what you have. The existence of people floating in the universe in a million different directions, not caring about people, not having empathy, not having respect. That's what it's about. And as long as we allow this to go on, if it was up to me, I would take social media and I would flush it in the ocean. The only element that I would keep open would be the charitable aspect. That is it. All this other junk, take it and get rid of it. It's garbage.
The problem is it's never going back that way. Ever.
Okay.
There's too much
then
money
we're going to have a lot of incidents like this.
I
All
agree.
good.
Well, the only thing that's troubling to me
that's
about
fine.
Because I get it on social media. Like, you can say whatever you want. You hide behind the wall of anonymity of your laptop or cell phone.
No, but that's not true. Tiki say that, but people say that and they're not hiding.
I know.
You're talking about the guy with the eggshell. I'm not talking about that guy.
I'm talking about the fact that it's now coming off of the social media platforms, that this happens in real life, right? It's almost like his was that. You know what it felt like when I was listening to that? I was like, those are the arguments that I remember getting in, with fans at an away game. That's what it felt like, right? It was like someone's just talking trash to you, and you scream back at them for a little while. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. Who knows? But that's what it felt like. It was like this. I don't know. Like, I'm trying to throw you off your game. And it didn't make any sense to me because the context was wrong. Like, the environment was wrong for that to be happening. But
there's no environment for that to happen.
Well, I mean,
from a 16-year-old kid for a pro player, who's coaching, you suck. You ass.
Think about the things
you were free. You suck.
Think about the things that kids. Think about the things that kids put on social media these days. Think about it. Right? Think about things that guys who are in the NFL now who had to go back and apologize for stuff that they said when they were in high school.
I hear you.
Right? So, this is just the world that these kids live in nowadays. I don't disagree because there isn't respect for the guys that came before you. And I don't know how you ever expect to get there if you don't respect the process of the people that are there.
Well said.
That's what's troubling to me, and I think this may be this is probably an isolated incident.
No, it's not. There's no way this is isolated.
In person.
No chance.
In person.
I don't
for
think
someone
so.
saying this in person.
I
just haven't seen it very often.
No, it hasn't been captured.
But
there's no way this is
I
the
see
first
it
time
all
this
the
has
time on social media. All the time on social media.
Well, but social media emboldens you to do that to somebody's face.
Yeah, it's true.
It's just there are supposed to be checkpoints in life.
Yeah.
And again, this is we haven't even said the young man's name, nor will we. Again, I'll give him credit. He was pretty witty with his comeback. He was sharp. He had his game down. If that's the game you want to play, he was good at it. I completely object to it, but if that's what you want to do, at least have your things lined up. And he kept coming to Cam. I think that when you have to understand, and I don't mean you, clearly, people have to understand we can't. This is such a deeper issue than sports or Cam issue, that we cannot tolerate this. It is eroding whatever fabrics of respectability in our world remain. They are just being smashed to smithereens with sledgehammers. Pretty soon we're going to be left with rubble, if we aren't already reduced to rubble in terms of interpersonal exchanges. Man, this ain't the way it's supposed to be.
It's hard to disagree with that.
Man. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe, and don't forget to hit that bell to be notified when we drop fresh content.